Again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Think Tank. So, Gods Misfits are being arraigned today. So, JLR has kindly let us use his footage. So, I'd like to get into this. Okay, so JLR will be narrating, and we will talk about this on our way through the stream. JLR is in the playlist.
Multiple police vehicles about to arrive, and then here we go. So I'm gonna turn up the volume.
Hey, Amexi, thank you. This was kind of fast.
Cole, do you have anything to say to Jillian and Veronica's families?
Do you have any remorse? Did you do it?
Do you have anything to say to the children whose mothers are murdered?
Why?
Thank you, Max.
Well, that was interesting, right? Kind of nodded his head.
Yeah.
So he's the first one arrived, folks. Separation of the defendant. To me, it looked like he kind of a little smirked a little bit too.
I find this very interesting.
Now, these could be family members, people connected to the case. You notice that the defendant will be going in the same door as no special side door.
Trying to see if I can find anything else that, but there's not a lot of updates at this point. Grandmother did this.
So they actually metal detector people outside the courthouse. They must not have metal detectors inside the courthouse. That's the way it looks like to me. everyone's getting frisked outside.
Okay, there won't be no more until it starts.
So these supposed to go in there?
So yes, if you're going to be in the courtroom, you have to go now.
All right, so they're being advised if they got to go in the courtroom, if they want to go in the courtroom, they got to go in now. They can't be going in after a certain time period. They're probably going to close the doors in.
There's a little line.
A lot of courthouses have the metal detectors inside the courtroom, so they might be taken very, very seriously. Now, is this common protocol for anyone that enters the building, or is this just for this case? So it looks like there's a combination of journals going in and locals.
I'm really surprised there's not more people there. I expected more people. They're just kind of pulling in, getting checked. Like, look at, there's not even that much media. Don't forget to share this out on your social media pages. That would be a great help for me. And hit the thumb.
I'm personally always fascinated how this works, you know, the behind the scenes and when people arrive to the courthouse and they can coming in and out.
I find it super interesting.
It's always good to see who arrives and who doesn't. Is any familiar faces? Did anyone see any familiar faces?
Wichita? Oh no, don't tell me you drove here this morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys surprised that there's not more media there?
5 hours.
So the next one is going to be
Gods Misfits. 4 people got together to unalive these poor women.
Notice they don't arraign them all at the same time. It doesn't look like. It looks like each one got arraigned and then left.
So the dad's mom, let's see, did I go all the way back with him? I did. I don't know how long this is going to last. We're a little bit behind. His is out first. But why is there
It's the
not
weather out there right now?
Why is there not more interest in this?
We're not responsible for it, so if anything happens to it, we're not responsible.
Let's see, Gods Misfits.
So right now in that area, it's 69 degrees. It's supposed to go up to 86 today. It's going to get a little warm there. We want to know more about this Gods Misfits group.
Yes, we do. That's what I'm looking at. For whatever reason, I think it's Nigeria that I've got this information
Heavy sheriff
from.
presence.
Kenya.
Looks like locals across the street. So I think only people, well, I mean, I guess anyone can attend a hearing. That's a public hearing, right? Yep. I see a lot of locals across the street there. And I see that orange barricade in the parking lot.
Hopefully I'll get them all.
I want to see each defendant. Now, I've only saw Cole.
4 people,
before I put this
including
together. I have not seen the other ones come in and out. Magnolia has.
Including the grandmother, charged with napping and
Right, thank you.
Investigators allege they're all part of an anti-government religious group who
We
call
won't know
themselves
what goes on inside the courtroom until we get.
Gods
Now, who is
Misfits.
this?
So this is the same day. Today is when Veronica Butler was due to have her hearing to get more access
No
to the
watches.
kids.
All right, so they're checking people's watches too. You can wear a regular watch, I believe, but if it has a recording device, you can't even have any watch. That's the way I
Whoa.
see it.
And remembering that Mr. Rickman
They don't
is
they don't want any recording devices in there.
who is Wrangler Rickman, the dad of the two children with Veronica. So he reportedly told his grandmother that they didn't have to worry about the
Now the
custody
question is,
battle.
are these 4 individuals separated in the Texas County Jail? I'm told Granny is in protective custody.
So he said to some people, well,
Or at least separated from
grandmother,
Cora. The men and the women will be separated regardless in a jail. You don't put men and women together. I mean, they might in some places. I don't know. They might have co-ed. Who knows?
so he said the custody battle won't be much
Yeah, this is
longer.
Granny Arraignment Day, folks. JLR investigates. Come on in. This is outside the Texas County Courthouse, Guyman, Oklahoma. 4 defendants are being arraigned, charged with multiple offenses. Murder in the first degree and kidnapping. As we've listened to and read the affidavit of probable cause, shocking to the core, the details laid out. Sounds like a lot of preparation and planning with this case. We're talking group meetings. We're talking stun guns. We're talking burner phones. We're talking the bodies were placed on a remote property belonging to the Beasleys in rural Texas County. But it seems like this is the beginning stages, folks, of accountability time. And if anyone else is affiliated with the Gods Misfits, they should be put on notice here to either fully cooperate with law enforcement, denounce Gods Misfits, get away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And as we keep covering this case moving forward, maybe some of these faces that we're seeing now arrive at the court will be more familiar, and we'll try to get an understanding of who individuals are that are arriving. Courts are open to the public. These could be anybody. They could be locals. They could be journalists. They could be family members. They could be friends. They could be supporters of either side. They could be anybody.
The courtroom doors close at 9:30, so make sure you guys get up there.
Unless you don't.
Yeah, you got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute to pass.
All right, they got 1 minute to go in.
Hey guys, good to see you. I just decided last minute. I seen that this was up and thought we might want to take a look at it together.
Journalists.
It's going to be on the 3rd floor and the courtroom to the left. And the doors
3rd
close.
floor.
Thank you, sorry. No, you're good. Yeah, the elevator's to the right of the stairs. Okay.
So it looks like 3rd floor is where they're being arraigned.
My Mexi. Oh, look at who's above me there.
So this would be Texas County Courthouse. The courthouse, according to Wikipedia, was opened in 1927. Was once the jail of the county.
Oh, wow. Well, more people coming up. Not as many as I expected still.
It's also listed as the National Register of Historic Places. As spectators, see? People are curious, just like us.
Absolutely.
So it's an old courthouse.
That it is. So, guys, JLR's link is in the description as well. You can grab it here from chat. Thank you very much for once again allowing us to use his content.
So the Guyman police are also involved here.
Don't forget to
with the, I guess,
subscribe,
the assistance of the transporting of the defendants.
like, share, and hit the bell.
Usually in a lot of cases, it's more of like a sheriff thing. Literally, this is the biggest thing that probably ever happened in this panhandle of Oklahoma, ever.
I bet he's right.
Ever.
A friend of Mr. Cullum's, a municipal court.
I mean, this is a
judge.
big deal. I mean, this is a town where everyone knows, this is an area where everyone knows everyone.
Yep.
You know, so it's probably shocking to the core.
A municipal court judge told News Nation that he was
And,
at the house.
you know, everyone
when
has to
SWAT
go to the,
team
this is probably, you know,
arrived.
this area, Guyman, is probably the go-to town of everything in that panhandle, more or less. From there to maybe Keys, too. I saw another big city around there. And as you see, you got spectators out there from all walks of life, even holding their children.
Yeah.
Want to see what's going on. There's Guyman. Guyman.
One thing about it being a Canadian, I can't get to these places. I would so love to get to these places. Pack up the car, hubby. We're going on a road trip. Very interesting. So let's see here. I was blown away that this even happened. Vincent Forbes told the outlet, Tad was a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to say he was, no, was a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to say he was a very good friend of mine. What? He's a good friend of mine. The pair had been in business together for the past few months or so, with Mr. Forbes telling the outlet that he had never felt a bad vibe from the man. The judge's interview reportedly sparked anger from local mayor, who demanded his resignation. Mr. Forbes then did so Tuesday evening. Wednesday's initial hearing comes with questions still unanswered about the victim's cause of
All quiet.
COD.
Who's the next one coming? Is it Tad? Is it Tifany?
Do you think
I
Tiffany's
believe
even
Cora
safe?
is the last person, though.
Do you think that Tifany, the grandmother, is even safe? Gods Misfits, anti-government group. Members of U.S. anti-government group Gods Misfits. And this is the Times of Israel. Like what? Who are Gods of Misfits? The anti-government group accused of ambushing and deleting 2 women. What the hell? Right? Oh, absolutely. Small town drama. You know, I've lived in small towns for many, many years off and on. And I mean, you can't change your socks without somebody knowing what you're doing. This is part of the reason I'm kind of surprised that nobody is there. Not that many, anyways.
Breaking Bad, yeah, that it's kind of like a Breaking Bad type conspiracy, right?
Yes.
We don't know what other criminal activity these Gods Misfits were involved with, what they dabbled in. Did they dabble into drugs, guns, moonshine? We don't know what else.
You see, this is the thing is we don't know. We'll look at an article when this is over and see what we can learn. I mean, there's not a lot of information out there. What I find interesting is old grandma there, she was part of like, she was into politics for a while. And now she's anti-government. Very interesting.
And we don't know if any of them committed other unsolved crimes.
That's right.
That's kind of where I am kind of looking at behind the scenes a little bit.
Boom.
But this Gods Misfit seems like it's self-proclaimed, because I don't get much information about that unless it's some sort of secret society, you know, in that area.
That's what I'm finding.
And I'm shocked they actually bring the defendants right through.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's a little bit shocking too, but we're just going to see what's up. This has already occurred, folks. We're just on a little bit of delay, like I said at the beginning. Not much research on, not much information out there on Gods Misfits.
There really isn't. Gods Misfits.
I mean, some people would do comparisons to Waco, David Koresh, Waco.
Mm-hmm. Smaller
Montana,
scale.
Freeman, Jordan, Montana.
Small town drama. Like, this is a big deal.
And we don't know what, since there's no cameras, we don't know what Mr. Cole is saying to the judge.
Exactly. And it was how do you say that?
Roxanne says, jailer, I think they just named themselves Gods Misfits, not a real thing. And I'm leaning that way, Roxanne. I really am. Because I haven't seen anything on Gods Misfits other than this small pack of people, including a Grice guy.
Yeah.
That's mentioned, part of this.
Agreed. So Cora Twombly.
And also the cooks. The cooks have been thrown in the mix too.
It was her daughter that
I just a group of maybe
turning them in.
I could say maybe 8 members, maybe 8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, according to CW, they would meet at certain locations for regular meetings.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Was this something that they planned on growing bigger? Recruitment?
I would think that would be their
Is this
goal.
just a club? Or was there bigger aspirations?
That's my guess.
Bigger aspirations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely my take on it.
I mean, this affected a lot of people, including their own families and relatives. Yeah. I mean, this is probably sent shockwaves across the board in the panhandle, the slither panhandle of Oklahoma, and also in Kansas.
Yeah. Exactly right. I agree, Anna Marie. Welcome, friend.
I was doing research on land out there. I mean, it just seems like it's just a lot of people just own land and raise cattle.
understand when you can sit.
Yeah, there. I mean, if you take a look around there, even on Google Earth, there's a lot of just barren land. A lot of it is farmed, but yeah, I couldn't agree more, friend. Rot in prison.
Well, we've been from this case pretty much into it, and we're going to continue to cover it. I do see a lot of people in the comments saying Breaking Bad.
Exactly. That's what it reminds you of, Breaking Bad. But on a nasty level. Nice car back there. I do like that white car.
Yeah. It's more comfortable than like a full thing. It's nice. And they make another one for like
It does sound like it's just a small.
I'm going
group
to
of
Twitter
people.
and see if someone gave any updates. I'm waiting for Brian Enton to post something because he's the one that I see that's actually in there and a good journalist that gives good insight about these cases. Okay. So according to Brian Enton said extremely emotional court hearing for 4 suspects accused of killing Texas moms. Victims' family members had to be held back as suspects were brought into court. Family called Grandma Tifany Adams an effing bitch as she enters, and others called them sorry pieces of shit.
Yep.
Bond denied. So, according to Brian Enton, the victims' families kind of went off on Tifany.
Good.
And called her a bitch and yelled at them sorry pieces of shit and had to be held back. See, you got these locals. You don't play with these locals, man.
That's
I mean, this is a big. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked by that. I'm thinking about that now. That's what Brian just put out in a tweet. So no bond, and we knew there was going to be no bond.
I heard that.
Gods Misfits.
That. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a judge shouldn't really be speaking out like that anyway.
Maybe authorities might note that for next subsequent court hearings because I don't know how big the courtroom is there.
I can't imagine it being too big.
We're going to speed it up a little bit.
Hey, Jess.
All right, got something here.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Who's the next contestant? Well,
so it does seem like they're taking in one at a time, these guys. Oh, look at this.
Oh, look who it is.
Isn't that Tad? Tad Cullum, you're going down.
Anything to say?
Why'd you do it, Tad? Why'd you do it?
Exactly. What did you do? Yeah, I've got a little bit of an article for after this to talk about Gods Misfits, but like JLR has said.
All right, so Tad arrived separately after Cole. So first we've had Cole, now we have Tad.
Yeah. Right.
Tad looking rough, man, with that beard, right?
Oh, he does look rough.
He also looks like a pretty big guy.
Agreed. Agreed. Special thanks to JLR for letting us use his content. Please go show him the love. And there is his link.
Now, I believe Cole comes out shortly. That's the way I was told. We'll see.
Yeah, it's
Why did only one person ask Tad a question? Where's the other reporters? Why'd you do it? Do you have anything to say to the victims' families? Are you involved?
so it's the father
Nobody said nothing to Tad, really.
of the two children. It's his mother that did this.
Any remorse?
I mean, they're taking the other one out.
Yeah, welcome to the justice
All right, they're
system.
bringing Cole out. Cole was coming out.
What goes through people's brains? Like, what goes through people's brains? Are you kidding me already? Come on. Oh, there he is. Look at that criminal. POS. What did you do? What did you do?
Where's the questions?
Yeah, where's the questions? Oh, it is.
All right, so he's back to the Texas County Jail. No bail.
Denied.
And he literally, most likely, will never touch his wife again.
Yep.
Maybe if they're all go up there and have a joint trial. We don't know if they'll have severance. We don't even know if this thing will go to trial.
That's right.
I mean, I think the evidence is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Right?
I don't know. I don't know if they got select media there that was able to be there. I think they have only allowed media to be there.
Yep, they're just arraigning them right now. And then the lawyers will get busy doing whatever it is they're going to do, and we'll find out if we got a trial or not. I like the color of that.
But this is the, you know, one thing I'm fascinated with these rural courthouses, old courthouses and
Isn't that
rural
nice,
places.
old
Is they
building?
bring the defendant
Nice old
from
building.
outside. Newer city-wise, they usually have all these sally ports. They bring the vehicle into a sally port, and you don't even see the defendant.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Some cities, they actually have it where they get tunneled under tunnels in the city to the court.
Yep. Heard of that too. Not hard to tell we're looking for a vehicle. I'm like, oh, I like that one, and I like that one. I like that kind of mother of pearl on that SUV.
JLR investigates. Come on in. We are monitoring this case.
And
we're just getting a
Franky
first
Rose.
glimpse at the defendants in handcuffs and
Oof.
bulletproof vests, it looks like.
Yep. It is hilarious. Like, what are you
I also think perp walks are the best, don't you? I like the perp walks.
So do I.
We need more perp walks.
Yes. Yeah, it blows
Everyone
me away, Jess.
that does this type of crime should take the walk of shame.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, I can't believe, I don't know what goes through
As a
people's
reminder,
heads.
don't be like
Yes.
them. Some states you never get to see the defendants, and it's
That's why I asked him 10 times.
doing the public a disservice. Parade the perps.
Yep. Agreed. And you know, they almost
D. Random said, "I pray they got the right people." I think they got the right people. I believe they do. Phones and
Me too.
CW's crucial testimony, you know, to law enforcement,
Yeah.
where she told law enforcement key things, stun guns, burner phones. I think they got the right people. Is others involved? That's a possibility.
It is. There's still 2 names out there that we don't know. And why did they get 5 of those stun things? Why 5?
Those sheriffs there have seen it all.
Yeah.
It is very brave that the daughter spoke up, and I hope the daughter personally isn't in danger
Me too.
for telling on her own parents.
I worry about
But
that.
I think she just wanted out of that craziness because we've already discussed last night about Cole and his son Vern. Scary thought.
Cole and his son Vern. Let me see here. What you talking
All right, so
about?
she brought him a water. Make sure you stay hydrated.
Okay, and then we might as well just keep rolling because I'll just do the rest live.
Midna said their plan was idiotic.
Agreed.
I concur. I mean, ridiculous to think that someone could get away with this, knowing that there's so much technology these days.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I mean, the very first thing authorities do is seize people's electronic devices, phones, computers, and see searches and analyze the phones. And
Yeah.
part of the way to nail them. I mean, she made some very interesting Google searches.
That she did.
Buying burner phones prior in that town.
Agreed.
Buying stun guns in that town that you see there.
Mm-hmm.
Five stun guns, by the way.
Exactly.
4 defendants. CW lists another additional person. We don't know that additional person, whether that person's going to get charged or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ridiculous how people think they can claim sovereign citizen and expect to do whatever they want.
That's right.
DA Dynamics says.
And that's the truth. It's the most bizarre thing what people think that they can get away with and do. Was it Cora that said to her daughter that don't worry?
We'll see if I get some more information about what transpired in that courtroom from any other correspondent.
They had no guilt for unaliving the other woman. It didn't bother them at all. The mother said to her that she was guilty.
It looks like the way I saw it was less than a dozen journalists were there. Problem with that location when it comes on the national scale is it's so remote from everywhere else in the country. I mean, just to get there.
Like, I feel so bad for you guys because you're the closest, and you still had to drive 2 hours.
Oh, see, case in point. See what he's saying? He had to drive 2 hours to get here.
So Veronica Butler, 27, and
when I was
Jilian
planning on
Kelley.
going out, I was eyeing Denver. Because Denver's direct flights from Florida, but it was from 5 hours from Denver.
And they said that
Birds.
Jilian was guilty as well, so they did not feel bad for unaliving her. I've heard that.
We're going to see something shortly, I think. Well, Tad's going to have to come out, and then the next one arrives. So it's bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
A lot of times with in some cases, actually in a lot of cases, if you're in a conspiracy with the defendants, they actually send all defendants in there at the same time, all stand in front of the judge. So I thought this was interesting that each one was separate.
That's pretty much what I thought. That there would be all 4 of them come in, each of them, maybe go up and sit at the bench, what have you. But to see them all one at a time, and I've heard the same thing, that people were afraid of these guys. I don't know. Rest in peace, ladies. This should never have happened.
I'm told Tifany Adams will be coming next, folks. I believe
How long have you been with NBC?
She would
is
be
the ringleader of this tragedy.
That's what I was going to say. I think she is the ringleader.
So they send you
She just looks angry and sour.
Mike's been there longer.
And it is a DP state, if I
Yeah,
remember
prison's not going to go
correctly.
well for these people.
No, it's not.
And like we discussed, it's like these individuals are at like the latter years of their lives, man. They're middle-aged adults starting
Yeah.
to become seniors, and yeah,
Not good.
it's a culture shock, man. Knowing all your younger years, all that freedom is gone.
Yeah. Well,
And they got to spend the best years of their life, the latter years of their lives, behind bars. Most likely, some of them might be on death row.
exactly what
But
I
this type
thought.
of crime, maybe it's in their best interest to be on death row. Honestly, because I don't think the inmates there are going to welcome these four, with open arms for what they did. I mean, these are mothers.
Yep, exactly.
This is
With
not the
young
cool
kids.
crime. This is not a crime where if you go to prison and get convicted for, you're going to be embraced by the inmate population. They don't like these type of crimes. Teresa says next court date JLR is May 8th at 9 a.m. What would that
May
court
8th.
date be? A preliminary? So May 8th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
May 8th.
Oh, yeah. I've seen quite a bit on that, Mexi. Yeah, it is. It's on Netflix.
The Boti says, what type of crimes are cool in prison? Well, inmates in prison brag and boast about things they've done, and other inmates think that's cool.
Brutal.
But when you do things to like women and children, it's
Yep,
really frowned upon.
as it should be. Yeah, he was the pizza delivery guy, wasn't he, Mexi? If I remember that. Yep, they essentially tricked him into it. That's something else. Fairly graphic, so heads up if you end up watching that one. Yeah. Cops didn't believe that that's what it was. But yeah, super interesting. Yeah, poor guy is right, Christy. No, prison won't go well for these guys at all. At all.
I don't typically use those. I use smaller ones.
And I hear, you hear the different things. It sounds like DP Row. They get better food. It just sounds like it's a lot better place to be than
Or
population.
we're still waiting. Yeah, Adams has been in trouble with law enforcement over the years. Nothing serious, though. I see a lot of failure to have a child restraint. Matter of fact, 3 charges.
That's serious.
I'll get her charges up.
Nowadays, I remember sleeping on the back, tucked into the back windshield when I was a kid.
So she's Tifany M. Adams. She's had driving without a license back in 2008. She's had
Big
speeding
surprise.
30 miles an hour over the speed limit in 2011.
Sounds
She's
about
had
right.
speeding 10 miles an hour over the speed limit 2012.
Mhm.
In 2012, she had a failure to have identification or driver's license in her possession.
You ready?
2016.
You ready? They're coming.
She had a failure to wear a seatbelt. She had a vehicle infraction for object placed in her vehicle. She had another speeding in 16, 20 miles an hour of the speed limit.
Good
She had
Lord.
another speeding ticket in 19, 20 miles an hour. Now it's who's coming now.
So I do believe we're going to see Tifany here.
It should be Tifany Adams, folks.
I expect her to be very sour looking. Oh, absolutely, Maxie. Yep. There she is there. Granny.
Anything to say, Tifany? Why'd you do it? Were you the ringleader?
Coming it off.
Any
Look
remorse?
at that, eh?
Where's the questions?
Zero eye contact. Yeah, and like you said, where are the questions? Okay, so shouldn't Tad be
She
coming
looks
out?
mad.
She does look mad.
Doesn't look scared. She looks mad.
Yep.
Or she's putting on a show. What's your thoughts on what you just saw, folks?
I think she's bitchy. What about you guys?
She's in there now. Oh, what we got?
We should be having Tad out.
So Mr. Tad should be coming out shortly. She's in there with her boyfriend, probably separated. I didn't see Tad come back out. Did you?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
You guys see Tad come back out?
Nope. She doesn't like stripes. Just not her look.
People have referred
Oh,
to
right?
Tifany Adams as the mad scientist.
So do
The
I.
mad
Pam.
scientist.
Good to see you.
It's going to be frozen for just a second, folks.
So
People
do I.
said that she had no remorse. She had an evil look, an evil eye, stone cold.
Yep. That all sounds about right as far as what I just seen. Yeah, everyone's yes, Pam.
Steph MP says a demon, tweakers, demon, mad granny.
Mad Granny.
Okay, here he comes.
Yeah, it should be Tad. Come on, old man. There you go. There you go. Bulletproof vest.
Why'd you do it, Tad? Anything to say to the
why is
victims?
Why is the media not talking? Like usually there's 1,000 questions being thrown at person.
He looked up at the crowd. Yeah, all eyes on you now, Tad.
So I woke up with probably another
Were you the trigger
7
person, Tad?
6 or 7 inches of snow.
Why did the bodies end up on a property you were working with?
Oh, good question.
Tad.
Tad.
Why the bodies ended up going on the Beasley? Tad. Tad Burt. Middle name Burt. All right, he's off back to the jail.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your hot in the cot.
It's a nice car. I agree. Well, I don't think that's how he's going to come out of prison. Personal opinion.
Back to his cot. Bulletproof vest.
Yep.
All right, so Tifany Adams is in there. You see one arrives, goes in to get the rain, another arrives, and then the other one comes back out.
Yeah. That seems to be the pattern.
Seems like each arrangement is lasting about 15 to 20 minutes. It's probably a script that the judge reads, a formality script. Probably says you have the right to attorney. If you can't afford one, one will be appointed to you. Now, Brian Enton was reporting that people were calling Tifany some words, bad words. I'm not a profanity type of guy. People express their way, the way they seem fit.
This morning in court, the deliverance crew charged
Gods
with leading
Misfits.
Jilian and Veronica were arraigned and will hire private attorneys, except Cora will have a public
JLR
defender
Investigates. Welcome to the
appointed.
channel. For everyone that is joining today.
They're being called hillbilly gangsters.
We're watching the 4 defendants coming out of court for arraignment.
Oh, hey, Jennifer. Couldn't DM you, but want to let you know. Kara, the mom, is in prison. I guess she relapsed and her probation was revoked. Interesting thing is she was
It's interesting
where
that they brought Tifany before
Lori
Cora.
Daybell was.
I don't know if it was just why each one came in at their particular time. It's just the way it was.
On Twitter, one girl goes, wood chipper for the 4 Emmers. So yeah, that was a post from Jennifer Coffendorfer.
It kind of like hearing what the media people say behind the scenes.
About 15 minutes ago.
At least they're in the shade. It's supposed to warm up today. No, I think they set up a zone, like a buffer zone in there, and they're keeping the spectators a little bit farther back and allow a few media people with cameras there. Maybe you have to have credentials. But the very first person that arrived, Cole, I mean, there was a few female journalists I heard asking him questions, but I haven't really heard that since.
Veronica Butler's
Or
aunt,
just filming,
who had to hold her brother back from lunging at the suspects in court. That's from Brian Anton. Ay, ay, ay. No doubt, though. No doubt.
Yeah, when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's what they said. The chipper. Oh, you're so right there. Really makes my blood boil.
oh, please don't go further.
That people like this don't think about the kids. She does look like a mad woman. Yep. The chipper shredder.
Yeah, I do wonder what Wrangler Rickman thinks about this whole situation. Maybe we'll hear from him. Maybe he'll come out. Maybe he'll get an interview.
That'd be good.
Now that I'm thinking, and now that we know a lot of dynamics of the case. I mean, it seems like Tifany threw Wrangler Rickman under the bus, and she wasn't too keen for her son.
Unreal.
But at the end of the day, Wrangler Rickman, loses his baby's mom and his mom, and basically is that side of the family.
But he'll probably have full custody of the
Nola Gay George, nice to see you. Vern died, apparently carbon monoxide poisoning inside a vehicle. But it's wild, though, because he was on the farm for days before he was found in a truck. And also, I'm told the dog died with him, too, which is very strange. There's people that are close to him that think it's suspicious. Yeah, dog. Maybe Magnolia knows the kind of dog it was.
Hmm.
Somebody's alarm on the police sirens going off.
So
I mean, is this a
wondering if this is a cop shop as
yeah,
well.
Bella, yeah, I don't know how he died, but apparently the found dead with him. That's what I'm told. I'd like to get more details on that. This happened in 2020. We discussed it last night. Vern Twombly found deceased in a truck on the property of Cole. And I'm told that Cole and Vern did not get along.
Hmm.
Magnolia says, I think Vern's dog was a border collie.
Are you
Oh, yeah, that's right.
serious?
The obit had the picture of him and the dog.
I'm going to have to look into that.
So maybe that should be looked at a little bit. Was it looked at?
So that's Vern Trombley?
All right, so folks that are just jumping on, Tifany Adams, in this particular segment, she is now contestant number 3. She is inside the courtroom. I'm going to, does anyone know the judge's name that's handling this matter? Matter of fact, let me look on the court record search, see if they list the judge. We'll see if they list the judge. If anyone knows the judge's name that's handling this case, it'd be good to know for information purposes. All right, I'm looking, Judge Jett, Clark Jett. According to court documents, Tad Cullum, I'm reading him as Judge Jett. Jett A. Clark. Might be the judge they're seeing now. Jett A. Clark, Judge Clark.
And I was thinking Joan Jett. Terry Clark Kent.
A. Clark Jett. Looks like he's a senior judge in his 60s. A. Clark Jett. I mean, it's listed on the court document. I'm not saying it might be a different judge, but according to the charges, it's saying that they're seeing Judge Jett.
Makes me wonder if they will move this from the small town and get a judge that's maybe a little more experienced, because this is going to be one hell of a trial if it actually.
Does anybody know anything about Judge Jett? If it is Judge Jett,
Jones Jett's
is he strict? Is he hard? Is this going to be the judge that goes through the entire process?
Good questions. Of course. So who are we waiting for now? Cora, right? Who do you guys think the ringleader
He was
is?
appointed to the judgmentship for that district, Texas County District 1, by Governor Mary Fallin in April 2012. So maybe he's been on that bench there for what, 12 years? He received a BBA from University of Oklahoma in 1974. He completed a JD at the University of Oklahoma College of Law in 1977. He was admitted to practice law in 1977. We're talking about the judge.
Hey, chick picker.
She gets appointed by the governor at the time in 12.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. That's what I think too. So I wonder
And
if
then the
he's-
district attorney handling that. We saw him at the press conference. Texas County District Attorney, Oklahoma. I think it was I'll get it in a second. It is George H. Leach.
I also wonder if she was head of this little
Yeah, that's it.
Gods Misfits.
George H. Leach. And he'll probably have a dream team of district attorneys behind him. Zachary Simmons, assistant district attorney. Oh. Got another one coming. Perp walk.
Is she there?
All right, so we still have to see Tifany come out and Cora come in and out.
It does. Actually, you're right.
That's what we're looking at, folks. Come on in. JLR Investigates. We are covering the case of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley. Okay.
You're right.
This should be Cora, folks.
Nice cop cars. What's going on with you? There we go. She's bigger than, like, she's kind of gronky. She doesn't look like.
Why'd you do it, Cora?
Yeah, why did you?
Anything to say to the victims or their families?
Why is no one questioning these people? Like, media is usually all over
She's
it.
scared. She's looking down. Walk of shame.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
She had
Karen.
a bulletproof vest on her, too.
Yeah, they all have. But yeah, this.
All right,
you
so
were right.
Tifany should be coming out shortly. It seems like once one comes in, they come out.
Tifany did seem a little longer than the others. Exactly. Her head wasn't up like Granny's was. Granny just walked through there like a big old biatch. The look on her face was anger, not fear.
So who do you think is the weakest link out of the four? Who's going to flip on one
Cora.
another? One
Cora.
I'm going to tell on the others, make a deal? Or are they all going to stand strong together and
Nope.
a united God's Misfit front?
Good Lord.
People think Cora. Who's the weakest link of the four? Some say Granny. Sarah says Tad.
Do you? You think it'll be Tad? Yeah, very well could be.
Cora. Who gets the deal? Does anyone get a deal for less than life in prison?
Boyfriend will cave. The woman with the head down. So that's Cora.
Or do you think all 4 will most likely spend the rest of their life in prison? What's the plea deal?
Here we go. Come on, Granny. Now watch how she walks. She'll walk with her head up like she owns the world. Narcissistic old thing. Head up. Looking bitchy. What do you think of Granny there? Yeah, I think she would be the leader of this little group of misfits.
There's a very strong possibility, ladies and gentlemen, that woman that you saw there could get the death penalty if she challenges this case.
Yep. They've got all their phones.
It's a very strong possibility.
Yeah. All of their phones are in the same place at the same time.
All right, so she's off, back to her cell, back to her concrete slab. We got a poll up. Who's the weakest link out of the 4? Keep your make sure you vote.
I should have done that at the beginning too. Never thought.
Who is the weakest link out of the 4? Tifany, Tad, Cole, or Cora?
Yeah, just a tad down. I agree. What the hell goes through people's heads? Like, are you kidding me?
Also, folks, you know, the way I was reading the affidavit of probable cause, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but it doesn't look like any of those 4 defendants actually told authorities where the bodies were. I think the authorities found that out with electronic devices.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Mr. Chick Picker. I think you're right. Mr. or Mrs. Chick. Mr. or Miss Chick Picker.
Gods Misfits. Yeah, we're gonna watch Cora. We're gonna watch Cora come out. We're gonna see if we can get any facial reactions from her, or see what she has to say. Maybe they say something. Maybe they haven't. I haven't actually reviewed this yet. This happened a little bit ago. We're just going through the
all right.
See what transpires. Document. Share it on this channel since we've been covering the case.
So we'll take a look at these Gods Misfits. There's not a lot, like JLR was saying, even at the beginning. There's not a lot out there. So I think it's just probably a little group of misfits, literally, who are on the bad side of things. Yeah, right. Yeah, I do. I think that you're probably right with what you had to say.
All right, so it looks like a law enforcement's a little bit more at ease. You have only 1 of the defendants left.
Yeah. Didn't work in February. And literally, they would have been going to trial or going up against the judge, I guess, today to see if Veronica could get custody or more lenient time with her kids.
Thank you, Dixon. Much appreciated. Thank you. All right, so we got the poll, and majority of the people, 3/4 of the people, 72%, feel that Cora is the weakest link. 73, 72. Tifany, they feel as 16%, and then Tad and Cole are in the single digits.
I would sure
we
think
got 500 votes, so most people feel like Cora.
They think
Just speed it
Cora's-
up just a little bit until they come out. So just so we can get an idea here.
Yeah, is her head going to be way, way down again, do you guys think?
Stay with me. We want to see Cora. Okay, here we go. Cora's going to come out. So the sheriffs are getting her. Each one gets arraigned. It seems like each one, 20, 40, yeah, about 20 minutes each. I think it's like a formality that the judge has a script, or the judge arraigned dozens of people a day, bro. Well, I don't know how much crime occurs. She walks
looks
out and she's like, "Oh my God, cameras! All cameras on me! I'm the star of the show." See that all the time.
I'm leaned right over. I'm melting into my chair.
She might have scared the town, but she's not scared of anyone in jail.
Get White Lightning ready for these four. I agree.
Why would anyone need to turn? The police have all the evidence. Well, I mean, the police do have evidence, but in a conspiracy, it's always good to have one person in that conspiracy flip and share and testify against the rest. That makes the case more solid for prosecutors. And usually they do that. And usually, the person that makes the first person to come and make a deal is the one that gets that best deal. And in this particular case, I think it's a deal to avoid the death penalty.
That's my guess.
Opinion.
But again, that might be a better sentence than
Tad was the trigger man.
No, I think Tad was.
Would be shocked. Maybe it was Tifany. Would that be shocking to you if you found out that Tifany was the one that actually pulled the trigger? Because News Nation has reported that the women were shot.
You're exactly right.
So since they've reported that, we're going off the assumption that the women were shot. But there could be more to it.
Okay, how's her head? Is she going to be staring at the sidewalk again? Counting lines? Oh, yeah. No.
Why'd you do it, Cora? Anything to say?
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Chick Picker. I think that that's very likely. She's pretty hardcore. Okay, well, thank you very much, JLR. I appreciate that. It's always nice when he's willing to share some stuff with us. Oh, he's always willing. So put that up one more time because we're finished here. And that's thank you to JLR for letting us use his content. Please go show him the love. There's a lot of them that I have talked to, and I prefer to talk to someone before I use their content. And I've got quite a good group that are just like, share it out, because that is what it's all about. It's not about clicks, views, and yada, yada. It's about getting information out to the public. There's been a couple cases the last while that my hubby and I were talking, and he's like, oh God, the innocent, why did this happen? And I'm like, what? And then we sat down together and I showed him, the actual facts versus what, in my personal opinion, versus what mainstream media puts out. And his opinion totally changed. I think it's really important. Anybody can share my stuff. I will never have a problem with it. I've got a huge playlist, and yeah, if there's even the smallest thing that helps get the word out on something that you're dealing with, please feel free to take it at any given time. Who are Gods Misfits, the anti-government group accused of ambushing and emming 2 women? 2 members claimed they were going on a mission before Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley vanished. So here we got Cora and Tad. You really didn't see much of her face, did you? She was all like, okay. And then we've got Cole Twombly. And then we got Grandma Tifany Adams. She's 54. She's younger than me. What the hell is that? You guys, she's younger than me. Okay, I don't like that. Hey, thanks for being here. Yeah, have a great day, and thanks for stopping in, friend. Alrighty, so yeah, let's get back at this. So it says 4 members of a group calling itself Gods Misfits are sitting in jail accused of napping and emming 2 friends. So it was actually the mother of the kids that grandmother had. And then she had somebody that came with her to supervise her visit. So we have Tifany Michelle Adams, 54, Tad Burt Cullum, 43. That's the bird. It's the beard. Cole Earl Twombly with the big stash, and his wife. She's only 44, you guys. Like, holy, what a rough looking group. Tad is only 43 years old. 43, they're saying. What? 54, 44, and 50. No, broken much? All righty. So 2 women were heading to pick up Miss Butler's 2 children from their grandmother, which is Tifany Adams, when they disappeared. Their car was found abandoned at a rural crossroad near they were saying, puddles of red DNA. There was a broken hammer, and there happened to be a magazine from a boom boom. And I think it was Tiffany's purse. I won't swear on that. And they did find, let me see here. They did find Veronica's glasses, and they say that was kind of out a little bit on the road. Now, they're also saying that the 2 women were discovered this weekend. I have yet to see a confirmation from law enforcement as to where exactly they were found. Are they saying that they were under that pile of dirt that was turned over and then reburied? Gods Misfits, anti-government. Yeah, he's 43, you guys. Like, what? The boyfriend of Miss Adams has lived in and around Texas and Cimarron counties of Oklahoma for most of his life. Cole Twombly. Mr. Twombly appears to have moved from Colorado to Oklahoma around 2005. He and Cora Twombly have been married since June 2015. He posted on Facebook the day before he was arrested, thanking friends for the birthday wishes. Got to dance in the front yard with the lovely and gracious Cora Twombly, have cake and share the evening with our new daughter in love, he said. All righty. Mr. Twombly had previously known Cora White, her 16-year-old daughter, known in court documents as CW, lives with her and spoke to investigators on April 3rd about the group and her parents' alleged part in it. I mean, what are you going to do? CW advised she was told by Cora that Adams, Cullum, Cora, and Cole were involved in the deaths of Butler and Kelley. We looked at those documents. yesterday, I think it was. The court documents also mentioned 3 other possible members of Gods Misfits. They are saying that they're not suspects in the case. So Paul Grice, Barrett Cook, and Lacey Cook. It has been determined that Lacey Cook and her husband Barrett Cook live in Keys, Oklahoma, the same town as Miss Adams and Mr. Cullum. Mr. and Miss Twombly live about 40 miles away in Texoma, Oklahoma. And it's unclear if Gods Misfits have other members. What do they believe? The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation said that Miss Twombly's daughter, known as CW in court records, described the group as an anti-government group that has a religious affiliation. Investigators found that Gods Misfits held regular weekly meetings at both the Twombly's and the Cooks' homes. The day before Miss Butler and Miss Kelley disappeared, CW claimed her parents said they were going on a mission the following day. Social media searches have revealed no online presence of the Oklahoma-based Gods Misfit group. There's another group called Gods Misfit on Facebook, but they sought to distance themselves from the Oklahoma M case this week and said they had nothing to do with it. Some way people think they are part of us. Nothing could be more wrong, was the group's owner. So they're called a group owner, who goes by Squirrel. And this was posted on Facebook. Gods Misfits is about spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, not about hate and M. In a later video posted later on Tuesday, Squirrel responded to messages he had received about the M case and said that he started up his religious group's website 2015. He called news of another Gods Misfit group whacked out and said that people had messaged him calling his group a cult. I ain't got nothing to do with all that, he said. I'm about scripture and spreading the love of Jesus. I am not an anti-government emmer. Gods Misfit Facebook group did not respond to the Independent's request for information. So there's that. It's quite interesting, guys. It's quite interesting. Let's see here. I think it was personal for Tifany. I think that's, in my mind, most likely. Possibly Tad, but yeah, and thank you for being with us, Anna Marie. And yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. That's our update for now. I got, oh, it's that one. So that's where we're at for now. If I find out anything more, I will absolutely share it with you guys. It doesn't sound right either. I just think they're misfits. I mean, they should have just called them the Misfits. I wonder if they think that jail was worth it in some way. Nothing would surprise me, you know? It could be something that they had thought about. And I mean, a lot of people think they're going to get away with all sorts of stuff. But at the same time, a lot of people will do things thinking the consequences are fine. So I don't know. I'm anxious to hear a little bit more about these guys. Maybe some interviews will be done in the area and we'll find out a little bit more. I'll keep my eyes. I'm on Twitter quite often, and I will keep my eyes peeled to see if there's any kind of update as far as this goes. Right? Retirement, free rent, and food. Lordy, lordy, they're not going to be well liked, are they? I don't think they're going to find that they made friends out of this maneuver. I think they're going to have a rough time. And they're not as senior as they look. I was a little surprised by their ages. So, I mean, I don't know if they pound the booze back or just have a questionable lifestyle on top of their beliefs. Hey, thanks for being here, friend. We are just finishing up. So, yeah, there's still lots to learn when it comes to this case, in my opinion. So, with that said, thank you very, very much, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I hope we learned a little bit. I still think that it's going to be Cora that ends up speaking, but we're going to have to keep our eyes watched for that as well. So I appreciate you very much. You know I do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.